the Oilers coming off that loss. A lot of talk about Connor McDavid going into the final year of a deal there. What improvements can they make to try and get this team over the hump?
Well, they made a really good signing in keeping their top defenseman, Evan Bouchard, $10.5 million per season over the next 4 years. He was a guy that might have been a poaching candidate for an offer sheet as a restricted free agent, but they locked him up on a good contract commensurate to his not only his performance, but his potential. But to answer your question, man, I don't know if McDavid's really going to be all that happy with the rest of their offseason so far. They signed a guy named Trent Frederick, who was on their roster last year to an 8-year deal. I hate giving out 8 years to someone who's basically just a worker bee down their lineup. And they've yet to address the most pressing issue with this roster, which is their goaltending. A lot of other teams have made moves for goalies. The Red Wings got John Gibson from the Anaheim Ducks. Other teams have addressed their goaltending. The Oilers have yet to do so, and that was a major Achilles heel. You can't go into a Stanley Cup final in a Game 6 and not know who your goalie's going to be, but that's where Edmonton was last year. So McDavid is an interesting one because he's a free agent next summer. There is speculation he's considering whether or not he wants to stay with the Oilers. I think ultimately he probably stays with the Oilers, but on a shorter term deal, maybe around 4 years, to give them a window next year plus 4 more years to win a cup. And then after that, he'll probably leave.
What are the odds? That's what I thought it was going to go, but what are the odds of trading him while his value is high?
I mean, if they're smart, they do that. Other teams that have been in this spot have done the same. I mean, Matthew Tkachuk's a good example, the star player for the Florida Panthers. The Calgary Flames knew that he wasn't going to be someone sticking around Calgary, so they traded him for Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar. Both guys are still on the Flames. Obviously, gave up the better player in that deal to Florida, but what can you do if he's going to leave for nothing? You're absolutely right. Like, if they know that McDavid's not going to stay, you got to trade the guy. You've got to get something back for the best player in the world. In theory, the other part of this too is they know they have him under contract for next year. They know they run it back with Leon Draisaitl, Bouchard, all the guys for the most part that were on this roster that made the Stanley Cup final in consecutive seasons, losing to Florida both times. So as much as we are like, hey, logic dictates you get a bounty back for a guy that might leave, they might just try to take their best shot with McDavid before he leaves rather than making that kind of deal.